I'm in Valencia, beautiful city, fantastic architecture and art and science. And at a meeting last night, when one of the organizers said to me, Charlie, this surely is the most exciting time in IBD. And it caused me to reflect a bit. It's 2024, and I think it probably is the most exciting time. And it's pretty hard to think of many other areas of medicine where there is quite so much hope really moving forwards. And although this can be overstated, of course, I speak for this both from the academic and the research side, but most importantly from what I see in the clinic. And in particular, where I have a newly diagnosed patient in front of me today, I think we have a toolkit, both with a wide range of new and effective therapies, monitoring strategies, and other treatment paradigms to help us get patients well, not just healing the mucosa, but with a broad enough understanding of holistic management to really look for a more complete healing as we move forward. Is it perfect? No. But what's coming through, I think, should give even more hope to patients and I think also to clinicians. The drugs that are coming into the clinic today are making a big difference. It won't take too long before the new therapies become generic or biosimilar. We only have to go 5-10 years until everything we have now will either be a generic or a biosimilar. That might seem a long time away, but we can rewind 10 years ago to see what's happened with the biosimilar anti-TNF era, where finally we were able to use these drugs as they were meant to. Early on in the disease course, profile, of course, showing us now that this makes a massive difference. And for those of us that have been doing that already for 10 years, we see in our data reduced hospitalizations, reduced surgeries, reduced disease progressions, improved quality of life as well. But of course, there's a big unmet need. There's a big therapeutic gap. Our treatments are not good enough. And in fact, for many, the majority of our patients, they're not newly diagnosed. They've had Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis for 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, or even 50 years with significant uncontrolled inflammation over time, leading to bowel damage that is largely irreversible, the chronic inflammation increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease and other cardiometabolic outcomes, neurodegenerative and psychiatric complications, to name just a few. And many will also have multi-refractory disease that has not responded to any of the therapies that we have. So what do we have coming round the corner? Well, the newer therapies are now being studied in combination, and I think already we have a couple of clues that this will be transformative. Vega has been talked about a lot. Take a P19, take a TNF, and do you just get an additive effect? Is 1 + 1 2 or 1.5? Are you just hitting the patients that would respond to one or other of the drugs? Well, maybe, and there probably is a bit of that, but you look at the transcriptomics and you start to see an exponential blockade or influence on inflammatory and transcriptomic signaling. And so this offers hope that combination strategies will really get there. And then on top of this, we can layer in, and I think this will come super fast, AI and other smart technologies. AI to read colonoscopy for IBD patients. First, just to standardize reporting. I mean, how great would it be to take a colonoscopy for an IBD patient at diagnosis, have it an AI-read score, nothing necessarily revolutionary, but there's a score 6-12 months later, and during the disease course of that individual, that score can then be compared so you can see truly what is happening. We're already doing this by deploying advanced statistical and mathematical models to our inflammatory profiles with calprotectin and CRP. Apply AI to histology and see what additional prognostic information we can get from a standard H&E stained slide. We can take AI and build predictive algorithms to help patients. We can fuse in smart technologies from wearables, looking at monitoring physiologic metrics, the holistic and wellness elements of this. We're seeing the very early phases, I think, of things like sweat patches to have a look at measuring secreted cytokines. We pull all this data together. We allow patients to be in charge of their disease. We have frictionless, passive monitoring tools, highly effective therapies with a very good safety profile. We have good psychological care. We have effective dietary strategies. And this will lead us to control IBD for the majority of patients. Is that enough? No. We need more than that, of course. We want to see if we can go further, not just to mucosal healing and histologic healing, but to disease clearance, something that allows the therapies to be stopped, something that might get us closer to what we might call a cure. And then prevention, the global pandemic of inflammatory bowel disease that is happening. We talk about it a lot, but you travel around the world and you see it and you feel it and you hear it from the physicians that are suddenly wondering where all these patients came from and what happened. And so we have to think how we can stop that. And that is going to be a whole nother topic for me to discuss shortly. But for now, this really is a message of hope. And this is, I think, for all of us in the IBD community across the world, clinicians, the full multidisciplinary team, academics, industry, policy, and of course, most importantly, patients and their families. A message of hope to see that things will get better, that will affect everyone and that are already affecting people in the clinic today. And we have a duty to make sure that this is just more widespread so that people get the care they need. So more from me later on this week. That's it from today. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.